In a quaint town nestled among the shadows of ancient trees lived a young girl named Natalie. She had a quiet demeanor and a keen eye for the unusual. Her friends were her world, a tight-knit group of three, Sarah, Liam, and Emily. They spent their days exploring the woods, sharing secrets by the moonlight, and laughing until their stomachs hurt. However, one by one, Natalie's friends began to vanish, as if swallowed by the very darkness that cloaked the woods they once loved. Sarah was the first to go, a whisper in the wind carrying her name away. Natalie searched high and low, her calls echoing unanswered through the trees. When Natalie questioned others about Sarah's disappearance, they looked at her with puzzled expressions. "Sarah who?" they would ask, as if the name meant nothing. Natalie's heart pounded in her chest. Her friends were slipping from existence, leaving her alone in a world that felt colder and more distant. Liam was next. One evening, as Natalie approached their usual meeting spot, all that remained was a faint, eerie mist. She ventured into the fog, her breath quickening with each step. A chilling breeze whispered through the trees, carrying a distant, mournful melody that seemed to echo Liam's name. Natalie called out desperately, her voice echoing in the mist, but there was no reply. The townspeople grew more distant, their gazes avoiding Natalie's as if they were hiding some terrible secret. Emily, the last of her friends, offered Natalie a fragile smile one gloomy afternoon. "I'll never leave you," Emily promised, but promises can be broken just like the fragile bonds of friendship. One night, as Natalie walked through the town's empty streets, she caught a glimpse of Emily's figure disappearing into the woods. Panic surged through Natalie, and she followed her friend's fading silhouette. The forest seemed to close in around her, the trees gnarled and twisted like skeletal hands. Shadows danced on the edges of her vision, taunting her. Finally, Natalie emerged into a clearing. There stood Emily, her eyes vacant and distant. "Why?" Natalie whispered, tears welling in her eyes. Emily's voice was hollow, as if carried by the wind itself. "They called us," she said. "The ancient ones. We had to go." Natalie's heart shattered. Her friends were lost to something beyond her comprehension, something that claimed them one by one. She was alone, standing on the precipice of an abyss that threatened to consume her as well. As the shadows deepened and the forest seemed to close in, Natalie realized that her friends were never truly gone. They were trapped in the darkness, forever lost to the ancient ones that whispered in the wind. From that day forward, Natalie wandered the woods, her eyes haunted and her heart heavy. She searched for a way to free her friends, to break the curse that bound them, but the town remained oblivious, the shadows concealing the horrors that lurked just beyond their sight. And Natalie, the girl who saw what no one else could, was left to navigate a world where the line between reality and nightmare had blurred beyond recognition.